Carlo Mombelli here, once again from Johannesburg, South Africa. Here I am in my little workspace where I compose, build instruments, practice, and try to be a better musician every single day. What I want to look at today is my instrument that I built called the Mombellibutton box. But before I get to this, I need just to give you some insight about the inspiration for me for building this and how I've used it. So, I've never had any formal composition lessons. I haven't studied composition at a university or an academy of music or conservatory. I didn't have the opportunity to, and I wish I had, because of what I would be interested in is the orchestration part of it. You put a flute there, you get a bass clarinet there, and you come up with this. The tonal soundscape of that study would be very interesting for me. But I had to do it on my own by experimenting. If I heard this, I really love cello, so I listen to the sound of a cello on a recording, and I go then I transcribe it and I find out where the range is of that I really like. And I've been really an acquisitive musician my entire life. I really wanted to be a classical musician when I was 10, when I heard Swan Lake's, the ballet Swan Lake, and the first opportunity I had to study music was when I went to high school, where they had music as a subject, and I studied piano. And we never had a piano at home. My parents weren't really interested in me doing music, and I used to go early to school. I used to practice before school on the piano, and then I would practice at break times, or I would go into the forests. I was at Pretoria Boys High, and they got gorgeous forests there, and I used to go there, and I loved listening. I've always been interested in sound, so I loved the sound of the insects. Insects were like, wow, the little insects. The birds. I would listen to how the birds always created this a call and response, or a bird would say something and then there would be silence, and then the bird would tweet something again, and then the wind would blow, and I would hear this the sound of the leaves, and I'd be listening to the volume. So all these things had actually an impact on the way I composed music, and I only realized that much later did I start understanding composition after doing it, and like really just composing a lot of music. When I was in high school, for me, the way that I learned was I sat down and I did it. So, for example, I just want to show you, these are all my compositions that I did while I was learning composition in high school. These are the things, my original compositions. I sat there. These are all scores and scores of stuff. Just like, if I just take this out, there's like scores and scores. I was learning by doing. And that's how I feel that you really learn music. You learn music by listening and by doing. All right, so I even have a note here. I should have thrown this stuff away a long time ago, but it's so important to me because, this stuff, I don't want anybody to hear it. It's full of mistakes. It's horrible stuff. But it's through this that I learned. I even have a note here, and that says, "If I am here no more, and you find this music, this is my music that should never be played and can be destroyed. It's in this music that I learned to write real music. Love you always." So I might destroy it quite soon, because you know, when you pass away, everybody wants to to record the stuff that you didn't ever want to have recorded. But anyway, so I learned by sitting down and doing it, and my days in the forest had a big impact on me, especially when the sound of reverb. And reverb, I noticed there was a natural reverb. I tried to figure out I couldn't hear it, but I could feel it. And that's the thing that's had an impact with me with reverb is when I walk into a big church or walk into the woods or forest, I feel it, but I don't really hear it, unless it's like a really long cavity, right? Long reverb. But then, so I've always been, and the thing about the birds looping, that's something that I really took from the forest, because then I started experimenting with my compositions. This was in the mid-70s. I started experimenting with looping using delay pedals, and later, of course, then I got a Jam Man loop station in 1996. It was my first basic loop station that I ever got in my life. But in the early 70s, I was really starting to, and then I started creating my compositions to mimic this looping. I started composing like that. And the thing, over the years, what I've learned about composition, the important things in composition for me is silence, density, form, balance. You know, these are, there's so much more to composition, but it's these the dynamics, all that stuff is what I've been searching for and learning in my work. All right, then the reverb. So I started always playing with a little bit of reverb that you couldn't really hear, but that you could feel. And one day I'm sitting at a desk, and I've got my desk lamp on, and I started playing with the springs, and I just loved the sound of the desk lamps. So as I started taking desk lamps, I bought a whole bunch, and I took these desk lamps to my gigs. And then I found these pickups. Well, I've got boxes of them all over the place. I've got these pickups. These are actually for tuning your guitar. You put this on the acoustic guitar and you plug this into a tuner and you can tune your guitar. Well, I discovered you can put this on a blinking chair, and you can put this on a chair and you can get a sound out of it. So I started putting this on all different things on a desk lamp. I would take my desk lamp and to the gig. I started using the sound, and I used the sound because I really loved the sound of it. Now that is the crucial matter. If you're doing something because you love it and you're experimenting and you want to try and find the beauty in it, that's one thing. But if you're just trying to do things to be different, then we are verging on doing things that become a gimmick. A lot of people that try to be different, but it's actually just a big gimmick. So I've always been interested in sounds, and you know, when I listen to those movies, those old movies, Marcello Mastroianni, Sophia Loren, all those movies, and I hear the sound designs, I'm always listening to the sound designs, how it fits into the sound of the dialogue and the music behind it, how the emotion that comes out. So I've always been working with sound, and so I even bought this instrument. I mean, look at this. This is just a box. This is just like a box, and I added these springs in the box. Gave the box a reverb. This is the top of a bedpost, a brass bedpost. And why I put that there like that is because when I put the marbles in, these big marbles, the sound of sound of the marble. I really like this. I mean, the sound, I could sit and just listen to that reverb and the marble hitting this brass thing. It's really nice. But anyway, I went down. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this spring. This is another spring that I found. I found this in Selby, downtown Johannesburg, in a spring factory. I go down to the spring factory and look for springs. And this is an instrument that kind of was invented, I think, by LP Percussion. Or at school, you'd put a string and your friend could talk to you and you could listen to him like this. So it's been around a long time, but I found the spring, it just creates a thunder. And if I wanted to sound like, you know that film Red October, I could just hit this against anything. It sounds like that sound that you get from the submarine in Red October. Anyway, so I then found this, I'm going to take this off here. I found this box. It's like from an old marimba, or like a school marimba with wooden blocks, but didn't have it. It was a shell. Then I decided to do something out of it. So I put these machine heads on that I could put strings on, that I could actually, and then I put this little contraption there that I could actually manipulate the strings. I even put the spring here. Just listen to that sound. All right, and then listen to this sound. So I wanted to create an instrument that I could have insects and things. So I put a little wooden board there, little peg there. These little metal ones. Springs. All different tones of springs. And then I added a little kalimba here at the end. And the kalimba is using this. This is now like a spring reverb unit with all the springs on. Okay, so now I want to try create something that I saw in nature, and then I put my pickup on. I've got a loop station here. I switch it on. Okay, so let me try create something. Something that I can use as a sound design behind a composition that I can create using. Whoa! This is good. That's a little introduction to Mombellibutton box. Okay, till the next one. Hey Luigi, hey my boy, how are you? This is Luigi. This is the dog that you sometimes hear in my videos. I'd just like to end off this little session, and I hope you enjoyed it. I just want to show you basically my book, that all the stuff that I show you, my compositions, are found in a book. I put them all in a book called Pulses in the Center of Silence, and with beautiful scores of the full lead sheets, full scores, and solo bass pieces. And I've put together a little bit of my approach on how I see music, things that are important to me. So I've got 5 chapters that I've written up front. The first chapter, the elements, which I feel are tone, time, taste, ears, and technique. And I speak about each of the elements. And then chapter 2, the 4 P's, passion, practice, perseverance, and passion, the journey to the elements. Chapter 3, composition and improvisation, my approach. I write about it, how I feel about it. And then originality, chapter 4. I really feel everyone is an original. And I'll give you an insight to how I feel about that. And then chapter 5, learning and teaching. I mean, can creativity be taught, etc. And so there's quite a. I hope it's going to be an inspirational bit of writing for you. And then you have all the compositions, and this you can get from real African publishers, Johannesburg-based publishing company, and see below for the link and the website for that. Until next time, peace and love, everyone.